Hey guys, so today we are moving away from adverbs that compare two actions to adverbs that compare more than two actions. So our goal for today is I can use superlative adverbs. I can use superlative adverbs correctly in speaking and writing. So how will I be successful? I will identify the verb or the action in the sentence. I will identify the noun in the sentence. I will ask myself how, when, or where did the noun do the action. And then I will identify the adverb in the sentence, and I will add est to the end or most to the beginning of the adverb. So adverbs are words that are used to describe a verb. We can compare two actions by using comparative adverbs, and we can compare more than two actions by using superlative adverbs. To compare more than two actions, we are going to add est. So in our sentence, Tom skis fastest on this team. So we are looking at the word skis as the verb, and we're describing how Tom does this and how his team does it. So the team is more than one person, so we are going to be using that superlative adverb, fastest. For adverbs that end in an E, we're going to drop the E before we add the est. Esther arrived latest to the party. So my verb is arrived. Esther is the noun, and we have to ask ourselves, when did Esther arrive? We would say that she arrived latest to the party, meaning out of all of the people, she was the latest. For adverbs that end in Y, we're going to change the Y to I and add est. So Ben arrived earliest to the party. So the word early is the adverb. It's describing when Ben arrived, but we're comparing it to the other people. So we're going to drop the Y in early and add iest. For most, use most before adverbs that end in ly. Lark sings happy birthday most energetically of all the guests at the party. So the verb is sings. Lark is the noun. How does Lark sing? He sings energetically, but then we have of all the guests, so we have to say most energetically. So you are going to determine the correct form of the verb in parentheses to complete the sentence. Number 1 says, Abe kicked the ball hard than Josh. What are we going to change that adverb to show comparing? You should have said harder. We are looking at comparing how Abe kicked the ball and how Josh kicked the ball. Number 2, the red team was the fast team of all the teams in the tournament. What is the adverb that compares here? You should have said fastest. The red team is being compared to all of the other teams, so they were the fastest. Malia stepped lightly on the ice than Marquise did. What is the adverb to compare here? You should have said more lightly. Malia stepped more lightly on the ice than Marquise did. So we are comparing how Malia stepped and how Marquise stepped. We're comparing two things, so we have to add more. My dad dances awkwardly than my mom. What is the correct adverb here? You should have said more awkwardly. Again, we are comparing how my dad dances to how my mom dances, and my dad dances more awkwardly. Looking at our paragraph, soccer practice, Pilar and I both love soccer. We play almost every day at recess. On the weekends, we meet at the park to practice. The first thing we do is warm up. We start out jogging around the field, and then for the last few laps, we run faster. Then we work on our kicking and passing. Last week, Pilar kicked a ball so high it went over the goal. Sometimes, if there are other kids at the park, we will play soccer together. Pilar and I are happy when Julia is at the park. Pilar and I are good at soccer, but we think Julia is the better. Playing with Julia helps us learn new things. So we are looking at sentence 10. Pilar and I are good at soccer, but we think Julia is the better. What change should be made to sentence 10? Change better to well, change better to best, change better to most good, or no change is needed. You should have said the second one, better to best. So the sentence should read, Pilar and I are good at soccer, but we think Julia is the best. So just to review, adverbs are words that are used to describe a verb. We can compare two actions by using comparative adverbs, and we compare more than two actions by using superlative adverbs. To compare more than two actions, we're going to add est. For adverbs that end in e, we drop the e before we add the est. And for adverbs that end in y, we change the y to I and add est. We use most before adverbs that end in ly.